All right, you guys, what's up? We're live. Welcome back to our weekly live feed. If you are here, please type into the comments, say hello, let me know that you're here. If you are logging on Instagram, head on over to YouTube or Facebook. It is a better platform on YouTube and Facebook because we can screen share. So, what's up? What's up? And as always, we always give it a few minutes for everybody to get logged on and get settled in and get those notifications and all that fun stuff. So, again, if you're getting on Instagram, I suggest you head on over to either YouTube or Facebook because then you can see the actual screen shares when we do it. Hello, hello, hello. And we'll give it a few minutes. And while we're doing that, if you have not done so already, QR code up here in the corners for our free newsletter. Right there. Scan that, stick your email address in. We got a lot of people on tonight. Yay. Awesome. Welcome, you guys. Some new names that I don't recognize, some people that I do. Fantastic. How's everybody doing so far this week? This week's almost over already. It's Thursday. I keep forgetting. What's up, Jamaica? This is a kind of our first real show weekend preview. I mean, I know we've done the Arnold and everything, but the Arnold is invitational, obviously. Hungry. I'm actually hungry. I'm still in improvement season and I'm hungry. So there's that. I feel that though. I just got, just figured out what shows I'm heading for this year. So that means that we are actually starting to cut as of this week. So woo! Not a big cut, just doing a carb cycle, which fun times. But no more free meals. No more free meals. But yeah, this is our first real show week preview. Because like I said before, it was the Arnold, so those are invitationals. These are your regularly scheduled programming. So again, if you're over on Instagram right now, click on over to our YouTube or Facebook. The link is in the bio because it's just a better experience. You get screen shares and all that. On Instagram, you just get my face. If all you got is Instagram, cool. But you get more when you go over to YouTube and Facebook. So the first 2 shows of the year is what we're going to be previewing for Bikini tonight. There is also a wellness show as well. We're not going to talk about that this evening. But the lists are pretty big. They're pretty big. So we got the Klash and we got San Diego. So type in the comments. Let me know which one you want to do first. Which show would you like to preview first? Do you want to preview San Diego or do you want to preview the Klash? What's up, guys? Klash. I'll give it a minute for you guys to answer. Go ahead and type in. It's always behind. Oh, Brittany's here. Brittany's actually, you're one of the people I had pulled up. Imagine that. San Diego. See, it's split right now. Split. So what I am going to say is that of the 2 shows, Klash is definitely the bigger of the 2. But I actually think San Diego is the one that's going to be a little bit more dicey as far as competitiveness is concerned. So one of the reasons why Klash is bigger is because they do have Masters as well, I believe, because we've got a bunch of Masters competitors on the list. So let's pull up we'll start with Klash and then we'll move over to San Diego because we're getting mixed reviews here. Everybody wants a different show. So we'll just start with Klash because I think that's what I have up anyway. It is, yeah. So we'll start with Klash and go to San Diego. So, obviously the Klash list is bigger. But again, we have Masters competitors on here too. So you have to take that into account. I think, let's scroll down. Let's see. They're doing over 40 and over 50. So we got quite a few. This is a big show because the Masters included, right? There is a live stream for this. I did see that. So if you go to theklash.com right there, you'll see the live stream information. But yeah, this is a pretty big list here. However, even though it's a big list, the thing is that there's not a lot of like top fivers or Olympia competitors on here. So what that means is that it's going to come down to a few different people, I think. And it's going to give the opportunity for somebody to come out and kind of make their mark. We've got a few people on this list that did decent last year, like they've gotten a few first call outs or they've gotten a couple of top fives or whatever it may be. But as far as like front runners for this particular show, we have 2 Olympians, and that's it. The rest of them all have not been to the Olympia. So I'm going to go ahead and pull them up. First on that list is Yulia, our very own Yulia Baba. So let me find a good picture of her. Her last show on stage was the Olympia. And let's see, this will be her first show of the season. There we go. So I would consider her to be one of your front runners here at this particular show. Her feedback for her last few shows, including the Olympia, was she was a little bit too conditioned. So her goal is to come in a little bit fuller, a little bit less conditioned, just to kind of show off those lines a little bit better, the shape a little bit better. It's a fine balance, you know. She goes from being too soft to being too hard real quick. So it's just finding that fullness area. Now, I personally have seen some preview shots of Yulia, obviously, so I know what she's bringing, and I think she's going to be, personally, I think she's going to be right on. I think she'll be right on the money. I think she's going to be right where they want her to be. So she's definitely a contender for the win here at this particular show. And as you guys know, that is one of my suits that I designed for her right there. So she'll be wearing that again this coming weekend. So for those of you that are new here, that's what I do. I do suits and posing. I also coach now too, but I do suits and posing, hair and makeup, all the fun stuff when it comes to competing. And if you win your IFBB Pro card in one of my suits, you become a Pro Performer Promise winner, which means you get sponsored for life. And that is what Yulia did. She won her Pro card wearing one of my suits, and she actually won her Olympia qualification wearing one of my suits. So she's sponsored for life. So she's one of our girls. So I always have to say, you know, listen, I'm biased, is what it is. I'm going to be biased towards my own girls, the girls that I work with. So I'm rooting for the win. Obviously, we want her to get Olympia qualified again, so I'm rooting for the win here. I do think she's one of your front runners, regardless of me being biased or not. I think she's one of your front runners for this show. So wish her some good luck. And let's go to. We also have Marie Eve. So these are pictures. I think there's pictures up now from the Arnold UK, but I haven't actually looked, to be honest with you. I just stayed on NBC News. So Marie just competed in the Arnold UK. This was the last show she was on stage prior to that, which was the Olympia the year before. So she didn't compete in the Olympia this year. She competed in the Olympia last year. I think she took the whole year off, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's what I heard from a post from her coach. Then came back and she did do very, very well at the Arnold UK. She ended up in 3rd place. She beat Angelica at the Arnold. The feedback, which I agree with, if you listen to Tyler's video, was that she was a little glute dominant from the front. And I would agree with that. I think he mentioned her shoulders from the back. I could be wrong on that. I can't remember. I just remember him saying she was glute dominant from the front, which I do agree with that. So I don't know what you can do in a couple weeks, you know what I mean, in order to correct that. But I think probably a little bit of posing and stuff like that could probably help with balancing her frame out. But she looked great at the UK. She looked really, really good. Conditioning was right where it needed to be. My biggest critique for her at the UK, to be honest with you, was she needed to smile more. She didn't smile big until finals. I kind of had to laugh because at prejudging, during my commentary prejudging, I was like, she needs to smile. Like, she's not smiling. And then she came out for her individual at finals and she had a big smile across her face. So apparently she was probably told that during the day. She needed to smile more. But that was really kind of my only critique for her. And I agree with what Tyler mentioned with her glutes being a little dominant. She has very cartoonish features in a great way. I mean, cartoonish, when we're talking about cartoonish in the sport, you guys, cartoonish is good. Cartoonish is a good thing. You want to have those cartoonish proportions, and she definitely has those. So she's definitely going to be a threat here for the title. I would have her and Yulia battling for first. But I also have a couple of people pulled up. So somebody I think we need to watch is going to be Mallory. The reason why I say that is because she won the overall at Nationals this past year. I don't think. No, she has not done a pro debut yet. So she has not been on the pro stage yet. So we don't know what she's going to look like on the pro stage. But anytime you've got somebody coming out off of a nationals overall win, it's somebody that you want to pay attention to, right? Our own Brandy is one of them that has come out after an overall win at nationals, done very, very well her first pro season. Who else has been big names coming on national? I know Janet Leung has been one of the overall national champions. That was a big, obviously a big name in our sport. Ended up being a Miss Olympia, that kind of thing. So anytime that they come out of a nationals overall, it's somebody to pay attention to. We'll see what she does here. I'm curious to see how her pro debut goes, and if she's going to be competitive. Usually, when you come out and you've come off of an overall win like this, you typically jump right in, typically do pretty well. So let's see how she does. She's definitely one to be paying attention to for sure in this show. The last person that I pulled up for this particular show is Allie Battenhauer. So Allie has come very, very close to her Olympia qualification this past year. This past year was her rookie season as a pro. She was an amateur this time last year. So she came in, got her pro card, won the overall at junior nationals, I believe. And since then, she went on a tear basically of top 5 finishes, top 2 finishes, things like that at I think every pro show she did, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. What did I just do? I just hit the wrong button. What did she take here at Tahoe? Tahoe, she was 4th. So she's 4th there. She was 2nd at Nashville, 2nd at the Governor's Cup, 9th at the Republic of Texas, which was her pro debut. So she's definitely one to be paying attention to here. Again, she has not won a show yet, so she hasn't been to the Olympia yet. But I definitely think that is within her grasp. And I think she's probably going to be up in that top 3, right? I would put her up in the top 3. It's just going to be a matter of, who comes in best. Like we always talk about, it's not a matter of who's better than the other one. It's a matter of who comes in best that day, right? So the other thing is I think that her physique and Yulia's physique are going to compare very, very well to each other. I think they're very similar in structure. So I'm curious to see what they look like next to each other. And then, Marie-Eve is kind of the oddball out, which could be a good thing for her. It could make her stand out, or, it could make her push into that 3rd place position. So not really sure, but those are my top 3. I don't really have anybody else on this list that's on my radar. I went through the whole thing. There's some girls in there that have placed top 5s. They've done decent in previous shows, but nothing really noteworthy to be like, yeah, this person is definitely going to be a contender. It's always hard when you're coming out to that first show of the year because nobody's competed all year, So it's been a few months since we've seen anybody. There's been the Olympia and a couple of pro shows, and that's it. So it's going to be interesting to see what people have done with their time off and see how they come in this show. Does anybody else have anyone that I missed before I move over to San Diego? Anybody have anybody that I missed at the Clash that we should be looking at? Did I miss anyone? And a reminder, there is a live stream for Klash. So you can go to their website, klash.com, I think is what it was. I'll pull up the pro list again so you can see that. So if you go, theklash.com. You go to theklash.com, then you can get to the live stream for that. Stasia, I don't know who, is it Stasia? Is that how you pronounce it? I don't know how you, is that the girl? Is that her? Anastasia Spriganis or whatever her name is. I looked her up, but if you're saying that her name is Stasia, then that might be why she didn't pop up. I did try to look her up and her name didn't come up. So maybe they have the name wrong, or maybe she had a different name at the Arnold or something, or they typed it in differently or whatever. Yeah, I looked her up and I couldn't find her pictures. You know what? Because it was the Arnold. That's why. Because it was the Arnold. We have no pictures from the Arnold, so I didn't see photos. Okay. I don't know. Again, I can't say much on her because I don't have any photos of her. But there you go. There's somebody to be looking at that just won the Arnold overall. So There's that. Anybody else? Did I miss anybody else? I'll get rid of this. All right, let's move over to San Diego. Okay, so this is a smaller list, but I actually think this list is more dicey as far as competition is concerned. So we have a lot of girls on here that have placed top fives, and we have Olympians on here, and we have girls that have not been on stage for a while coming back after not being on stage for a while. So this one is a little bit more dicey. Now, right off the bat, we're looking at Amy Delgado on here, right? She just took second to Laura Lee at the Arnold. So she's definitely your front runner for sure. She was top 6 at the Olympia, all that kind of stuff. But, anything can happen. So she's on paper, she is definitely your front runner. But let's take a look at a few other people as well. We will pull Amy's pictures up as well, too. But let's take a look at our first name on the list that I pulled up, which was Ariel. So I've always thought Ariel has a great look. Her tendency at some of these shows is she comes in a little bit too soft and out of condition. She came in shape at the Olympia this year, and that landed her in a placing spot, which she placed 14th. So she was in second call out, which I believe she could be better than that. She could even be better than that. But this was the first time she was really in shape at one of these big shows, right? She's a gorgeous girl, beautiful stage presence, all of that. It's just that sometimes she's just not conditioned enough. She came in at the Olympia, was conditioned enough, she got rewarded. So I'm curious to see. There's a few things with her posing specifically that I'm not a huge fan of. Like specifically, we're looking at this pose right here. This is her front pose. To me, she's way too sideways. It makes her look really straight up and down. So there's a lot of little things with her posing that I would change. I think would make her physique be accentuated even better. So I am curious to see what she looks like coming into this show. She could definitely be up in that top. She could be a threat if she comes in on point. Has all of her presentation details on point. She could 100% be up there and fighting for that first place position. And again, she's just got an amazing stage presence, amazing look all the way around. She just needs to be in shape, and she needs to be able to get those posing things tweaked, I think, in my personal opinion. The next person that I have up, obviously Amy. So Amy is our next person on the list. I'll go ahead and pull up one of her front shots. Now, these are pictures from the Olympia because, again, we don't have photos from the Arnold. So I don't think that this photo actually does her justice because she has changed her front pose and kind of reformed her physique a little bit since the Olympia. So I'm curious to see what she does with the feedback that she got from the Arnold and what she changes, whether she changes anything or if she doesn't. Again, her Arnold photos and things like that are a better representation of what she looks like now versus her Olympia. But still, she was 6th in the world here at the Olympia and 2nd in the world at the Arnold. So she is absolutely a front runner going into this. Curious to see again if she changes anything or if she just rides in what she did at the Arnold. I mean, always want to take your feedback, but when it ain't broke, don't fix it too. So let's see what she does. But if I was a betting woman, I would definitely put her in the first place position. So that's my 2 cents. But we've got some other contenders here. We've got Tara. So again, this is not her current physique. She just competed at the Arnold UK. And again, we don't have pictures from that, but she massively improved her look at the Arnold UK versus what she had here at the Olympia. For those of you that saw the Arnold UK, you saw how tiny her waistline looked in comparison to this. You saw how much better conditioned she was at the Arnold UK than in comparison to this. Just this to me was not one of her better looks here at the Olympia. The Arnold though was. The Arnold was probably, to be honest with you, the Arnold was probably the best look I've seen on her, period. So that was just a week ago. So she's coming in off of that. That's a high. I think it's funny because again, I listened to Tyler's feedback video, and if you guys remember when I was on here talking live commentary for prejudging, I kept saying how I felt like her glutes were really overpowering. She didn't look quite as overpowering when she was sitting next to Vanya, but when she was by herself, all I could see was glutes. And whenever we're talking about bikini, yes, the glutes are important. Don't get me wrong, but you don't want them to be the main center focal point, right? And Tyler's feedback on his video that he put out was that her glutes were too much and that she needs to actually bring her legs up a little bit. I don't think she necessarily needs to bring her glutes down. She needs to bring her legs up to match. So what can you do in a week to fix that? Not a whole lot, other than maybe some posing tweaks. I don't think she can really grow muscle in a week, you know what I mean? But she could do a few tweaks to her posing, maybe make her lower half look a little bit better balanced. But I would say that's probably going to be the thing that would keep her out of the winner's circle, just the fact that she's not as balanced as some of the other girls. But we'll see. Maybe she fixes that. So that would be the 2 cents from the last show that she did, and I'm curious to see if she makes any adjustments, if she does change her posing or anything like that. But she's definitely going to be probably up in that top call up for sure. It's a matter of where. I also brought up a few people that have done some top fives this past year. This is Kimberly Bonilla. So she was the top 5 at the Girl Power last year. That was her only top 5 placing. But again, I want to bring up a few people that have been off stage for a while. She's been off stage for a while. Girl Power was almost a year ago at this point. So it'll be interesting to see what she brings. So I just wanted to bring her up. Also brought up Erica. So Erica has placed top 5 a few times this past year. Last time being in Hawaii, I was actually there with her. I helped pose her last year a little bit too. So she's definitely one to be watching as well. She carries a little bit more muscle than most of the girls, but she, I think, will fit in well in this particular lineup. I'm interested to see if she gets up in that top call out and where she falls. And it's, she hasn't had a huge long off season. Let me see. She's not really fully posed in any of those photos. So let me see if she's got any fully posed. Here's one. She's fully posed here. There we go. So really great shape and structure. Sometimes they tell her she's got a little bit too much muscle. Sometimes they tell her she's a little bit too conditioned, that kind of thing. So, but it's been enough time off stage in the last, however many months it's been since November. I do think she could end up in that top 5 for sure. So she's another one to be watching. Let's see. And I've also pulled up Brittany, who she may still be on here. Say hi if you are, because I saw you at the beginning of the live stream. She's another one who last year, if you look at these placings right here, all these top 5s and top placings, she got very, very close to getting her Olympia qualification, but just kept missing it. So she needed to make some improvements, some changes, got off stage and has been off stage for a while. So has had the opportunity to do that. Her structure and look, again, when we're talking about cartoonish shapes, this is the definition of a cartoonish shape in the best possible way. When we talk about that, we're talking about the tiny little waistline, the glutes, the shoulders, all of those things. So I'm curious to see the changes that she's made since she was on stage here. Can't remember what time of year this was. When was this? It was July. Right? Yeah, July. So it's been a good little off season here for Brittany. So we'll see how she ends up coming out on stage. I've watched a little bit of Instagram. Looks phenomenal from what I can see. As we all know, Instagram is not reality though. So we'll see what happens when she gets up on stage. But I definitely, again, can see her up in that top call out for sure, and potentially fighting for those top 3 spots or so. Let's see. And the last one that I pulled up here is Anya. So Anya has not been on stage in a while. I think, yeah, she took all the year last year off. If you look here, she was on stage in 2022. So it's been a full over a year that she's been off stage. She's completely changed her look. She's got dark hair now, not the blonde. Lot better balance now from what I can see again on Instagram, all of that. So I am curious to see how she stacks up. There we go. So this was the last time she was on stage. Again, another cartoonish shape. Not a huge fan of this particular pose. I'm sure she's changed that since this time frame. It's been over a year that she's been off stage. So I'm sure a lot of her posing and her shape and everything has changed. But when I look at this shape, I see a shape that can be very comparable with Britney as well. So I'm curious to see how she stacks up on stage and how she looks. She's another one that's come this close to winning pro shows, this close, over and over and over again. So we have several of those girls, those kinds of girls here competing this weekend. It's always nice to see, an underdog take it. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard if an underdog comes in and takes it, but it's definitely a possibility. So those are the girls that I have pulled up for San Diego. Did I miss anyone? So again, here's the list for San Diego. Did I miss anyone that I should have highlighted? Anyone? Y'all are quiet tonight. You were lively at first. Now y'all are quiet. And there's a lot of you out here. Am I here by myself? What do you guys think? I feel like I should be playing the Jeopardy theme song. Waiting for people to type in. Just tell me that you're here at this point. I'm not talking to myself. I see we've got lots of people on. I'm shaving my legs. That is a great reason to not be typing in. Shaving your legs is a great reason to not be typing in. I'll hand it to you. So what do you think? Who's going to take the title here? There we go. Now we got people commenting in. I love it. I know y'all are just enthralled by me and listening to everything I had to say. For those of you that are new here and that have never really been on my lives before, I really encourage you guys to type in and ask questions and participate and all that kind of stuff. I love that kind of thing. So, Maddie, is Maddie the one that I mentioned in the other one? I brought her up. Yeah, this is Madison. I brought her up for nationals. So you have to go back and watch it again. Because I did talk about her. Yeah, I think it's going to be hard for anybody to beat Amy. I don't think she's unbeatable. I think it's going to be hard for anybody to beat her. Deep in the protein ice cream. I love it. It's okay. That's what I'm here for. I'm your evening therapy as you go to bed, right? Yeah, I think overall, that we've got a pretty clear top 3 in Klash. Like I said, with some, anybody can come out of the woodworks, but we have a pretty clear top 3 in my head, at least. Here in San Diego, not so much. I think we have a pretty clear front runner in Amy, but I think anybody could work their way into that top 5 here from the people that I just mentioned. And, even anybody else that I didn't mention, there's plenty of people on here that I'm not super familiar with that could come out. It's been a long time since we've had anybody on stage in general, other than the Arnolds. So that's the fun part about the first part of the season, is that anybody could come out and win this. Anybody could come out and shock us and make some noise, that kind of thing. So I'm pretty confident in saying I think that Amy's going to take it in San Diego. And like I said, in Klash, I'm going to go ahead and put my money on Yulia just because she's my girl. But I think that it's going to be very close between her. I think Alexandra Battenhauer and Yulia are going to compare very, very well together. And Marie Eve, I think, is going to be very different from the two of them. So that could be a good thing or it could be a bad thing for her. I mean, we'll see on show day how they all compare to each other. But I think that's going to be your top 3 there. And it's going to be interesting. I'm curious to see what gets rewarded. I'm curious to see, because again, this is the first real show, right? The other 2 that we've had so far have been the Arnolds, and those are invitational. So it's only so many people can show up. Now we're starting to get the real pros coming out. These are the girls that are going to be wanting to fight for Olympia placing or qualifications this year, things like that. So it's going to be a different look. It's going to be a mixed bag. And I think we're going to get some good movement toward the criteria and things like that too. So I'm curious to see how it all gets rewarded. And then the other part is I hope that Tyler comes out and still does a review on the shows too. Because I think it's a good thing for him to do those reviews regardless. I think it's a good thing to do the reviews, but like when you're looking at the top Olympians and things like that, we all kind of see it. But I would love it if he continues those so that we can get some more review on some competitors that are trying to get to that level, Obviously I'm doing mine and I'm going to continue to do mine. But at the same time, it's always nice to hear Tyler say it, because it confirms everything, I actually love when Tyler does reviews because he usually does them after I do mine. And then he says the same things that I do. So it's like, oh, he just validated everything that I just said. So it's fantastic for me. But yeah, I'm curious to see how this weekend goes. We've got a local show here that I'll be going to support. But yeah, that's gonna be on my list too, to be seeing what's going on over there in both ends of the country, right? So I hope everybody's had a great week so far. Again, I can't believe it's Thursday already. Man, weeks just go by fast. I kind of know my stuff a little bit. Yeah, we've got we got the Warrior Classic this weekend here in Virginia. So that's where I'll be. That validation, exactly, right? And then next week we've got Charlotte. So we've got a bunch of our girls will be there competing. And then there's a bunch of girls actually going too. So if you see me, say hi. I'll be doing lots of media stuff there too. I do have media passes for that show too. So we'll be covering that for live stream. And other than that, if you haven't done it already, free newsletter right here. You can scan on that. We will have a new episode of Behind the Bikini come out next week. Jordan is actually at the Klash this weekend. So that's why we did our Behind the Bikini early this week, because she had to travel. So we'll put it out on Monday. So next week we'll have another one. What else? If you need a suit for the season, I'm doing free suit consultations. You can get that by clicking the link in the description box below in this video. Subscribe, like, comment, share all this stuff for me. Anytime you see any of my stuff pop up, share it, comment on it, like on it. That helps with us getting seen and all of that. And if nobody has anything else to say, then I'm going to go eat, because somebody mentioned at the beginning of this that they were hungry. I'm hungry too. I got you. I'm right there with you. I need to go eat. All right, you guys, here we go. Season is really rolling. It's going to really roll fast from here. We're just going to start going quick. So I hope you guys have a great evening. Sign up for the free newsletter. And that's it. Suitsandposing.com, all the fun stuff, right? All right, guys.